monthly meeting of April 25th is called to order at 7:30 p.m. Do I have roll call, please?
Mr. Banta?
Here.
Dr. Cohen? Here. Mrs. Frankel?
Present.
Ms. Quackenbush? Here. Mr. Rosenberg?
I'm here.
Mr. Santana?
Here.
Mr. Spindell? Mrs. Wallace?
Here.
Mr. Barbarulo?
Here. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of the public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Fairlawn Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof distributed to the persons on the approved list, posted in the Board of Education Administrative Office, and sent to the Bergen Record and the Star Ledger. The announcement posting for the regular monthly meeting along with the date, place, and time thereof was distributed on April 10, 2019. The items to be discussed during closed work session, if needed, of the April 25, 2000 regular monthly meeting may include personnel matters, student matters, legal matters, negotiations, and/or grievances, and tactics and techniques utilized in protecting public safety and property. The results of these discussions will be made public as soon as possible. Would you please join me for a flag salute? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our superintendent, Mr. Marcia. I have a couple comments to go over.
Thank you. So, on Monday night's work session, if you were not here, we are moving to a new website for Fairlawn. It will still be fairlawnschools.org. However, we're changing our platforms. We'll be starting over from scratch. We're very excited about it. The whole website will now come out of the superintendent's office. We'll still have webmasters in our buildings, but Liz has been doing a great job in organizing this new website and what it will look like. We spoke with many districts that are using this platform. We're very excited for the app that it comes with. It's very user-friendly. It's going to look awesome. It's going to be really nice drone footage of our schools. Very 21st century in 2019. In addition, we are starting over from scratch with all of our information. We know that there's layers and layers and layers of information on our website, which isn't a bad thing. It's just something that's accumulated over time, and we thought this was a great opportunity for us to take a look at our websites, reassess how we are communicating with quick links to our social media, so you'll be able to do everything from our website moving forward. So we're really excited about that, and it's something that we're hoping that we'll be able to launch by the summer or mid-summer. But we definitely want it done so when school opens up, that'll be our new platform moving forward. The next thing I'd like to acknowledge is the Governor Teacher of the Year Award. You can see all of them up there. A teacher and an ed specialist from every building was chosen by their peers, and they are being acknowledged this year for 2018-19 school year. We will be going to a luncheon together in Bergen County. This is the first time, I think, in a couple of years we're going to the luncheon. In the past, actually, they only invited teachers, and this year we called up and said everybody should be invited, teachers, paraprofessionals, whoever. So they were very willing to allow us to bring everybody, so we're really excited that all 20 of us are going to the luncheon together, coming up in the spring, I think May. I believe it's in May. So these are our recipients. We're very proud of them, and we're proud that it's our teachers we know do so much for our students, but to see our paraprofessionals and our nurses and everybody else that's up there who are working with our students day in and day out, it's great to see them receive these awards as well. So we're going to recognize them at our individual buildings, as well as the superintendent has my convocation opening day for the school year.
Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we're going to open up to public comments on the agenda items. Does anybody have any comments on the agenda items? Just sign in, please.
I meant to put your name on there first.
Yeah, you did it right. I know. Dawn Ebner, Fairlawn High School, president of the Fairlawn Education Association. And I would just like to, referring to on page 18, letter D, once again, the Governor's Educators of the Year program. I would like to congratulate all of these individuals as well. It's just a sampling of the outstanding work that all of the teachers and ESP, essential service providers at the, throughout our district do for our students here in Fairlawn. So I'd just like to congratulate all of them. Really fantastic people. I know a lot of them. I don't know every one of them individually, but just would like to take the time to congratulate each of them. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything on the agenda from the public? Okay, seeing none. Any board members have comments on anything? Gene?
Yeah, I just want to point out S3 disenrollments, and it comes up every few months that there are people in the district that shouldn't be going to school here. And I just want to point out that the administration does an excellent job of tracking those people down, following up on needs, doing our own investigations, and we find a person that doesn't belong here, we disenroll them. And it's something that comes up every few months, one person, two persons, three persons. So I just want to point out that the administration is looking out for these people and taking action when it's required.
I agree with you, thank you.
I have comments on F8A, which is regard to the submission of the budget for the county office, but I see there's a PowerPoint included in folders, so I'm wondering if there are gonna be additional comments or is this just the reference?
What was it, F8A?
F8A on the budget.
Point of reference,
Oh, page 23, yeah.
it's approval of the budget.
So I'm just wondering if there's gonna be comments from any of the administration on that item, given the handout in the folder, or if this is just for board members.
Formality voting on the budget.
Okay, so I will make my comments now on that. So as I've stated at prior meetings related to the budget, and we had a prior vote in March on the budget where I voted no, and I just want to say that I am going to be voting no again on F8A. I did not join the school board to vote no on school budgets. It's with heavy heart that I make this vote, but I feel like in the context of increasing revenues, including additional state aid, better ratables, that we could be doing more as a district to slow the rate of cumulative tax increases year after year, and that the administration has the capacity to do that if the board directed them to do that more. And I realize I'm going to be a minority vote, and that this board is generally not of the same opinion that this should be a priority, and something that we need to look into as a team to be able to slow the rate of the cumulative tax increase every year in Fairlawn. But I think we're at that tipping point where we as a board need to do that, and the intention of my no vote is to communicate how strongly I feel about that for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike?
On that same, on F8, I disagree that this board does not share a common theme of trying to stabilize the tax rate in New Jersey and the borough, but I know that when you add healthcare, the additions to the building referendum hitting this year, and the increase in personnel costs, that this board and the administration is always looking for ways to save money, and I don't like being characterized as someone of not that mindset, because I've been in that mindset with everything I've ever done on this board for the past 12 years, so that's my point on that one. You know, the stuff that we added to the budget that increased it was stuff like 2 additional buses with 3-point restraints, which unfortunately took the tragedy in Paramus for districts all around the state to wake up and say, we need to switch out our buses quicker. And unfortunately, we wanted to retrofit the buses with 3-point restraints, and that, and no one will do that because of insurance costs, so the safety of our kids are more important. We have a technology increase because some of our technology, to tell you the truth, was lacking. So there's more wireless points getting put in all of the schools, as well as beginning the one-to-one initiative that many people wanted, that I've been looking for the past 10 years. And so I support the budget 100%. Do I want to pay more taxes? I don't. But do I want our kids to get the best education they could? Yes, I do. And, you know, I'm going to say this. Monday night, we had a meeting, we had a work session, and we talked about school report cards and stuff like that. And people were saying, we need to do something about the school report cards. I personally think that we do very well on the school report cards, but you can't have it both ways. If we want the education we want in Fair Lawn, obviously the schools are important to Fair Lawn. People are moving in every day. We have 100 more kids a year because of the schools in this town. And as long as I'm on the board, maybe I'm only on the board till December, but as long as I'm on the board, I'm supporting education, I'm supporting this budget. If I thought that there was something remotely wrong with it, besides nickel and diming the stuff, I would vote, I would speak out and vote against it. But that's my opinion on that. And just a comment on P6D, page 18. I want to congratulate all of these teachers. It is, and I want to say, Nick, that thank you, because I've questioned the past couple of years why we haven't gone to that luncheon. I've been to that luncheon twice, and it really makes teachers feel like that this award is worth it. It really is. It's a great luncheon that Bergen County administrators make for the Teachers of the Year, and so I am ecstatic that we're going back again. Sorry, thank you.
So I just want to say, as far as the budget, that I fully support the budget. I happen to be this year at every single budget meeting where items were discussed and compromises were made. I think in the long run, you can be penny wise and pound foolish. I think as a board that I don't like being characterized as someone who is doing the wrong thing. I might feel like I sit here and weigh everything out and hopefully do the right thing. I think the evidence of that is that our schools keep getting accolades over and over and over again. It's a continuous process. It's not something you can just stop. And I also think that people should remember we're in the people business, and people are very expensive, and we don't control the healthcare. And I think that it's time as a board, when we talk about making resolutions, I think the resolution that we should be making should be telling the state that they need to fund the schools differently, so it's not on the backs of the people that live in this town. And I also just want to say that our town is one of those towns that's in a growth spurt, which is in a way bad for us because it's crowding our schools, but it's also very good for us because the prices of our houses are very high. And I think that it's I don't want to say foolish to think that, you know, the dollars per year that we're putting into, you know, they used to say, well, if you go to the movies once, and if you don't go to the movies 1 month, then you can pay the school budget. I don't think it should be equated to anything. I used to call, when we had the Flair committees and all that, I used to call, and I always tried to take areas where there were senior citizens, and I would say to them, they would say, well, I don't have any kids in school, and I would say to them, did you go to school? It was a lot cheaper when you went to school, now you have to help us send the kids to school when it's more expensive. And I just think that we should realize that as board members. It's nice to say I'm voting no, because you know, I support it, but I really don't support it. You either support it or you don't support it, so I support it.
Mary?
I've been on the board 15 years, and I have seen this board over the years draw a red line through things and ask for budgets to be lowered. And I've seen our administration over 15 years work hard to change things and bring things in at a lower price and postpone things to the next year and so forth. So again, I just lend my feelings also to what Elise and Mike said, that while perhaps it was not meant in exactly the way it came out, I don't also like being characterized as just throwing money away. I have never seen the board act in that way in 15 years, and in the 40 years that I lived and worked and everything else in the school district.
Welcome.
First, I would like to congratulate all the awardees, the recipients of the Governor Teacher of the Year Award. And also those teachers that are not on that list. All teachers in Fairlawn are working very hard to bring their best in our students. Congratulations to you all. In regards to P6E19, page 23 and 24, I would like to thank the administration for bringing up to the agenda the plan to start developing the comprehensive equity plan that I mentioned at the last workshop meeting. I look forward to reviewing it in its entirety, and I have high expectations for it. In regards to F9A, page 23, 24 as well, I will be supporting the contract. I have read it in its entirety as well. There are many advantages that the contract offers our students, including but not limited to family therapy in the evenings to accommodate parent schedules, unlimited PD for our staff, parents, a summer program to provide services for our most at-risk services, and very important, reduction in student attending out-of-district placement, and an increase in students returning to districts, saving the district significant funds. And on top of that, an independent lunch period with ESS staff to avoid stress of unstructured time in the cafeteria students. So for that reason, I will be supporting that contract after having studied it and done my research. F8A, page 23. That's the budget. We are paying for actually 3 referendums right now, 3 motions, okay, pretty much. We're paying for, we're still paying the referendum from 2003, 2004. We're paying for the Westmoreland referendum. We are paying for the most recent referendum also, the expansion of the 2 middle schools. Those we are providing extra services and staff, and we're also providing much needed technology upgrades through the 101 initiative with this budget, such as laptops for all 9th and 10th graders, and improving the high school Wi-Fi, and supporting other initiatives such as the mental health initiative, which I mentioned, and on top of that, the security initiative, with the Special 3s, the cameras, the directive security. This is the reason why I will be supporting the budget this year. Our per pupil spending is about $17,000. Now, you know, both sides are right, but we have to care for each other's opinion. We cannot, and I'm not saying everyone is doing this, but if someone has an opinion among us, that does not necessarily mean that they're telling you that your opinion is not important. Because if we take everything personal, people are gonna be afraid to speak their mind. And every board member has a right to speak their mind. And there are cases that, yes, people may say something that is not nice, but everybody should be able to agree to disagree, and not take anything personal. And at the end of the day, we are neighbors. We are here for the children. It's about the kids, okay? However, we have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayer, okay? And although I believe the district is doing a great job trying to save as much as possible, they're actually doing it. We need a new direction when it comes to the money. We need a new direction. And we will never, as far as I'm concerned, nickel and dime our children, right? I am supporting the budget, but the taxpayers can only take so much. We are paying for 3 referendums. We are repaying the debt of 3 referendums.
All right, well,
So I won't go
we know
into
that.
it because I
Yeah,
have
we know
had,
that.
make my
I
case,
just want to keep,
and
the meeting
I
going.
thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Cindy?
I also am supporting FA8, the budget. I echo what's been said. I sit on this board and take my job very seriously. I am honored to serve this district, and I serve this district with my heart and soul. The decisions that we make sometimes are extremely difficult, but we do them because that's what we're charged to do. To say that we're not making it our priority, I just don't agree with that. And some people may look at it one way, other people may look at it the other way, but I just needed to say that I support the budget. I work very hard to make sure that we do something, if it's even to reach one child, we've done our job, because that's what we're sitting here for. That's what we're charged to do.
That's it. Okay, now it's my turn. I just have a few points of interest. I understand, I hear everybody, believe me, I'm a taxpayer. I don't know if anybody in this room happened to read the article in the Record the last 2 weeks ago, because I read every part of it about charter schools. If you realize how much money the federal government has given to the state of New Jersey for charter schools, it's actually being funded through private companies that own the charter schools, and they get around the thing, taking money away from the public school children. Okay, so if you read the article really well, there's a big flaw in that system. There's also a flaw that the state of New Jersey has underfunded majority of the districts close to $24 to $30 million in the last 15 years. That makes a big difference with taxpayers, okay? We can sit here all night, and I love when people come here and complain about taxes. You live in New Jersey, it stinks. They now want an exit tax. So if you decide to move out in the next couple of years, they're gonna tax you, okay? Or, we already have the stormwater tax as a plumber. Believe me, you guys laugh. So, the one thing I will say is that I look around every day, not just when I was a board member, out there, not just as the president. I look around every day at other districts. I read what they're doing. I see districts going up $32 a month. I see districts got their budgets voted down. I got districts that the council's taken over, okay? And there's other districts that are good. For the amount of money that we spend in this budget, I think our administration does a pretty good job, and they are always looking about merging with different things. One of the things I read in the paper the other day, and this is what I do, like I said, I read a lot of articles about propane buses. Leon is starting to do it. Randolph does it already. Tom's River does it already. So I happen to be in conversation with our transportation director about something else, and I said I will call Ms. Bartley and ask her to look into what that takes. It doesn't happen overnight, people. You can't just go get propane buses. You need propane stations and yada yada, it goes on and on. But it's something we look into, and if it could save the district $20,000, $30,000 a year, we're gonna do it. But it doesn't happen overnight. So again, as a board member, as all our board members do, we all look to save money, okay? But there are things that it costs a living that just keeps going up. And as Mr. Santana said, and I will say it, and I will fight anybody on this board or in the public, when it comes to our children in this community, there is no cost to me. There is no price on their education. Every one of them deserve the best education. And I could say I'm proud to know that they do get it. So that's where I stand, and I will be supporting it. And seeing that, we're done with board comments. We're going to, we're gonna vote on the, G1 and G2. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Are we voting on everything already?
Just G1 and G2.
Okay. Oh.
Mr. Banta?
Yes.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mrs. Frankel?
Yes.
Ms. Quackenbush?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Mrs. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Barbarulo?
Yes. Okay. S3, disenrollments. S4, approval of attendance of charter schools, no items. S5, no items. 1 and 2 had no items. Can I have a motion for S1 through 5?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Banta?
Yes.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mrs. Frankel? Yes. Mrs. Quackenbush?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Mrs. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Barbarulo?
Yes. E1, attendance of conferences, conventions, and workshops. Approval of extracurricular trips. E3, approval of student, teachers, interns, background, field observant. E4, no items. E5, no items. E6, no items. E7, 8, and 9, no items. Can I have a motion for E1
So
to
moved.
9?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Banta?
Yes.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes, but I'm abstaining on E2 because a trip involves my child.
Mrs. Frankel?
Yes.
Ms. Quackenbush?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Mrs. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Barbarulo?
Yes, I know I'm out of line, but I just had to say this, I'd really like to see some of these trips that our bridges and stepping stones go to. I think it's so cool, some of the places that they go to learn life skills and stuff, so I think it's really interesting. I actually wanna go to the ShopRite trip with them. I do the shopping, so I'm just,
Gonna be a long line, Mr. President.
worry about it. I like it. Okay, P1, approval of appointments. P2, approval of resignations and retirements. P3, approval of leave of absences, an amendment of a leave, rescission of leave. P4, change of personnel or assignment. P5, no items. P6, extended leave of absence without pay. And that's it. Can I have a motion for P1 through 6?
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Banta?
Yes.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mrs. Frankel?
Yes.
Ms. Quackenbush?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Mrs. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Barbarulo?
Yes. Okay, SE1, no items. SE2, approval of bedside home instructions. SE3, SE4, SE5, all no items. Motion for SE1 through 5.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Mrs. Wallace?
Yes.
Mrs. Frankel?
Yes.
Ms. Quackenbush?
Yes.
Mr. Banta?
Yes.
Mr. Barbarulo?
Yes. Okay, F1, approval of exception of gifts, no items. F2, approval of discards. F3, approval of bills payable payroll. F4, approval of bills payable. F5, approval of board secretary report. F6, approval of board's treasury report. F7, approval of transfers. F8, approval of the 2000 county submission for the 2019-20 budget. F9, approval of contracts. F10, no items. F11, no items. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Banta?
Yes.
Mrs. Frankel?
Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Mrs. Wallace?
Yes.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes, but no on F8A.
Ms. Quackenbush?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
And Mr. Barbarulo?
Yes. Okay. At this time, I will At this time, I'm gonna ask for public comments on, new business. Anybody have any public comment? On any? Please, sign in and state your name, please.
Christine Weinstein? Hi. I'm writing very quickly, I'm not gonna read my handwriting. With the upcoming groundbreaking and construction, I've brought this up numerous times, I really haven't heard much update, I don't know how far it's gone up. But I'm curious if there's any plan to communicate anything about the changes of the schools to the students, to the current student body that's gonna be returning in September. If there's anything that's gonna be explaining what's gonna be happening, where they're gonna come in the new year and that thing before the end of the school year, just so that they know what to expect when they get back to school. I mean, my world, I have to prep a ton, so I could just be speaking.
I will refer that to Mr. Lucia, and I can answer, but I'll refer to
Yeah,
Mr.
we'll look into it, I'll speak with the building administration about it. I'm not something to point.
Just to bring up, and it doesn't have to be the
I-
class moving up, but
I
just.
will tell you this, that this construction management company, when we met with them and agreed to them, that was top priority, number one, safety, and number two, how we were gonna get in and out, make sure everything stays the same so that we can refer it to the teachers and to the students and to the parents. So we'll keep you up to mind. As you notice, you've seen some bulldozers over at TJ and so forth.
Yes, there's the bulldozer, I think,
We'll get that.
I'm at Memorial, but, just think it's important to let the kids know what's going on as well as parents. Thank you. Did I put my address in here?
No, you don't need to, just put your name. You don't need to. Anybody else?
I know.
Only Mel has to put her. Anybody else, any other public comments? No? Okay.
On any topic?
On any topic? Yes. New business, just not on the agenda, it's new business, it's new business.
So I cannot speak about the budget.
No, I just had comments about that early in the meeting.
She can speak about anything though, you said, right?
No.
It's public comment.
I make a motion to allow her to talk about the budget.
Okay. All right, go ahead, speak about it.
Hi, my name is Corina Vico, I'm from Fairlawn, I'm affiliated with the Forest School,
Okay, can you just sign your name, please?
and as a taxpayer, I'm paying the same amount of taxes as everyone else in town. However, the school I'm affiliated to has the worst scores in town. And it looks like we're saying, yes, well, all the schools are great, on average, I agree. But once you go ahead of increasing the taxes, are you looking into that school specifically to address the issue? Because I'm a taxpayer, right? I'm a homeowner, and that's impacting me. When I'm trying to sell my house, I see a scorecard saying, or if the school you're affiliated to is the worst in town, according to the ratings.
You know, I'm gonna just answer a little bit to that, because I'm gonna be frankly honest with you. My children went to Forest School, because somebody made a comment on Facebook the other day that the scores have been low for the last 15 years, which is wrong. Because my children, one's graduated college, magna cum laude, I got another one that just got into the National College Honor Society. I'm not bragging about my kids, I can go through tons of kids. That school right now might be going through something which we are gonna be working on, we stated the other night when we presented the report, okay? There's nothing wrong with the school in general, it's a very good school, and if people don't wanna go on that side of town or live over there, that's fine, that's their decision. But the administration is working to improve the scores in all the schools, and you know what, next year it could be another school, and then we have people here from that. So this administration looks at every school, elementary, middle school, and high school, to do the best they can. Just like the other night, we have a 97% rate, there might be something that's not, they're gonna look into that, okay? But the only reason I'm saying that is because my children went to that school, I have a lot of friends that went to that school and did very well. As a matter of fact, the principal of that school, 2 principals ago, brought in a lot of programs, and that school is one of the top schools because of the programs he brought in before other people did. But we will make sure that it is, so that your house doesn't lose value and that nothing else, because we want to make sure that your kids get as much better, as great as an education as everybody else does. But this administration will work on it, and as a board, we will make sure.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
I asked this on Monday, but didn't really
really get much of an answer about what's going on with the food services, because, and what's the bid process, when are we gonna know? Because like I said, we had Chartwell's came to speak to us, and they certainly didn't
I'm gonna
didn't talk.
refer that to.
Can I finish my question?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just
I mean, because Chartwell's came to speak to us, and, you know, we have and they certainly weren't talking about short term, they were talking about long term, and talking about next year, and talking about installing the new warmers in the Lindcrest kitchen over the summer, and things that they were planning on doing, so it certainly didn't sound like they're in the middle of a bid process. So I just like to get clarification on what the process is, what's gonna happen, when we're gonna know.
So we're in an RFP process, which is a request for proposal, so it's a little bit different than a bid process in that we have a little bit of flexibility in how we evaluate that process. It's clearly a fair and open market to anybody who wants to participate. We had the advertisement for it, we've received the proposals, we formed an evaluation committee. We met for the first time on Monday. We're gonna meet again and interview candidates from the different companies that put in proposals in the next week or the second week in May. And hopefully at that point, we will put a motion on our May meeting. That's the goal, to whomever comes out is the best. But just so you understand, all of the food service equipment is owned by the district. That the management company manages those operations, and that's it. So no matter who's in here, if we decide to buy warmers, we buy those warmers as a district. So there's no change in.
Oh, no, I understand that.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
but they were talking about how it will certainly change, especially the experience at Lindcrest, to have those warmers in there. They also mentioned that, and, you know, something about construction that has to happen in that kitchen because the warmer was too big, or, I mean.
So that's all, that was part of our,
I saw the
that was
bu-
part of our budgeting process.
So that was approved,
and that's-
Will
but
that
that's,
happen
again,
during the summer, do you know?
It's the district, we're going to.
That's what I'm asking, yeah. Will that happen this summer? Is that something we can expect for September in Lindcrest?
That's the goal.
Okay, thank you.
Like I said the other night, it's like a player under contract, on their contract year. They do the best they could possibly do. And they're gonna talk like they're getting re-signed. So I'm just saying, there's an RFP out there.
Well, I mean, just judging by the feedback that we got at Lindcrest, they haven't been performing like they're on a contract year.
That's fine. We've been hearing that from a lot of people. Anybody else? Okay. Board comments on new business. Mike?
Just for Nick, and I think you might have heard about it already, some parents, actually, I picked up my grandchildren today, and some parents questioned why there's nothing marking that this is a school, that this is a school zone at Edison, in front of Edison, and I told them that I would talk to you. I know it's a county road, and there's probably some things that have to be.
Jimmy Van Groningen and I have been in talks for the last couple of weeks about it, so we're working on it.
Great. Thank you.
You have your hand up?
Yes, Mr. President, I would like to ask that a proposed resolution that I have drafted, a non-binding resolution actually, be respectfully put on the next board agenda, being that we are not going to have a workshop in May. And it is to formally inform the mayor and the council of the overcrowding situation that we have, so there can be informed about it. So when they make any potential rezoning, they take that into account. I will let my fellow board members know that Mr. Green, the attorney, looked at it. I don't know if Mr. Green would like to say anything about what you saw?
Not right now.
Okay, so,
No, we'll put it on next month.
and it will be a great opportunity for.
And then we'll discuss it.
It will be a great opportunity for, no matter how you view the budget, for us to speak with one voice.
All right.
So I will leave it at that.
That's it, we'll put it on. You have anything else?
That's it, for new business.
Cindy?
I believe
well, maybe I'm wrong, I thought at our last work session, we had decided that it should go through Shared Services Committee to talk
Well,
about this.
I have just answered your question, I didn't speak directly to the mayor today. I was texting to the mayor today about something else, and I did bring it up, so he's gonna get in touch with, Mr. Reinitz, that he's, I think, the liaison, about setting it up. But I said that I would bring it up to a work session, and if you guys say we don't wanna go ahead with it, and we're gonna wait till that, that's fine, but the board member asked for something, and I'm granted his request.
So it's going on a work session?
It's just, yeah, it's gonna go on.
Meeting agenda?
It's-
Not a
No,
voting
no,
agenda?
it's gonna be like, we're gonna discuss it in the new business.
Okay.
That's what
That's vastly different.
I gotta vote on it. We can vote on it if you wanna vote on it, but it'll be on the agenda if you wanna vote on it, and then you vote how you wanna do it. So it's up to you.
Okay. Thank you for
One
clarifying
second.
that.
One
Just to
second.
clar-
One second. Mike, you got something?
I'm sorry, that email with all the dates yesterday, I didn't notice, I'm gonna go on record as saying, I know May is tight, but I think we set a schedule that we were gonna have a work session and a regular meeting. Oh, there is a work session. I thought you said there wasn't a work session.
No, it's gonna be, the work session's gonna be the same night as the board meeting.
Matt Lee is coming.
Matt Lee is coming
Discuss
here, which is
board
something else
goals.
that I was gonna just.
But are we gonna do, see, I thought, so here, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. Okay, we set a new way of doing stuff this year. And I think not having a work session where we're gonna go over the agenda before the regular meeting is bad precedent to already go against what we were doing that we said we were gonna do. The whole process was, there's a reason we decided on this process. And I know May is tough, but I believe that there should be a work session where we could talk about the agenda. That's my belief.
Okay, and I got your belief, Mike. You know, if you want to have, we discussed and we said at the board retreat, and I was there just like everybody, that we were gonna have a work session every month. However, there may be an exception from one time to another where we may decide not to have a work session. I have no problem being out. We moved the work session from the 17th or whatever it was to the 20th, because I was gonna be at a conference, and also the fleet dinner was that night, and we spoke about moving it. We moved it to the 20th. Then we said the Columbia Bank dinner was on the 20th. We don't have to go to the Columbia Bank dinner as a board. We could have the work session if you want. So if you wanna have the work session, let's just take a vote right now, and we can decide that if you wanna have it on the 20th, we have it on the 20th. No skin off my back. If you wanna have it on the 23rd, nobody's trying to skate the new process by any means. But, you know, it's not a mistake, you know.
I'm not saying anything to offend anyone. I'm saying something.
No, but we'll.
I'm
we'll
allowed to
take a
speak my piece.
No, I know,
That's
that's fine.
now I'm getting upset.
That's
Point of
fine.
information, on the same topic. Why can't we have the meeting on the 16th, the week before, the Thursday before, which was the original date?
Don't have to be on
Can't
it,
be.
and it was the fleet dinner as well.
That's the three dinner also. So we decided not to. Okay, but if at this point, if everybody wants to have the work session on the 20th, we'll have the work session on the 20th. How many people wanna have this work session on the 20th? Raise your
I
hands.
don't want to, but.
No, well, I'm just giving it. If you don't want it on the 20th, we can pick another date to do it. I'm just letting you all know now. I secured with Matt Lee, he's coming on the 23rd. He will be here at 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So, and that's not changing because we already changed him and so he's locked in.
So if you wanna have the 20th work session, we
That's
could have the
fine.
23rd, just board goals with Matt Lee, and then just do a work session on the 20th.
Yeah, we can do that. Just let me know. All they want, the board work session on the 20th, or you wanna pick another date?
6 o'clock.
No, it starts early. It starts here like 5:30. It's early because it ends early. It's like 5:30 to like 9. You know, so I'm just saying, so. It's up to you if you wanna have a work session at 8 o'clock, you wanna have it on another night, just let me know. Let's just speak up so we can move on.
You can do a consensus. It could be a consensus.
I'd like to move to have a work session at 8 o'clock on Monday, May 20th.
Okay, Emily made a motion to have the work session 8 o'clock on May 20th. And I need a second.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor of having the work session at 8 o'clock on Monday, May 20th, raise their hands. All against? Okay, so we're not having it on May 20th. Anybody want to have the work session on a different date? We'll look for a different date. Just raise your, you can make a move. Go ahead.
I just want to say that there's, other than the agenda items, which we can actually do, individually or through a phone call or a text message. The only other item that is discussing the resolution. If Matt Lee's gonna be here from 6 to 7, then we have from 7 to 7:30. Or we could push the meeting to 8 o'clock, the regular meeting to 8 o'clock that one, and then have an hour or 45 minutes or so to discuss.
The agenda.
To discuss particularly the resolution, because I think that might get some, some traction of the discussion.
Okay. Whatever the majority wants, I'm fine with. I'm not taking, Emily first, you had her hand up first.
So, I'm not opposed to that idea, I just wanna remind, the group, the spirit of actually having a work session ideally a week before the board meets to give us time to actually think about things and maybe hear from the community, give a chance for the community to hear us discuss something at a work session and be able to tell us if they care or not before we vote on something. So even if we did a discussion of the resolution at a work session a half an hour before the board meetings begin, I'm not sure how ready I'm gonna be in May to vote on it anyways. So if we push it till June, I don't think it's the worst thing ever. The discussion of the resolution. If we run out of time and we have to move it to another.
That's fine. I mean, I might have a shared services meeting before that, so I'm just saying, 1 second, we'll look in and then.
Okay, I'm the one proposing this, the resolution is drafted, we voted on a list of annual meetings in January for the entire year, okay? The superintendent just stated that he's not available on the date that was originally scheduled for the workshop, so we all have to be flexible, okay? So part of all of us being flexible is also taking into consideration each other. So I could have tonight bring up the proposed, the drafted resolution, but I chose not to because I want to make sure that I'm being considered kind and giving my fellow board members an opportunity to hear and discuss and learn about this resolution. But I don't think it's fair to push something that is gonna. It's an important issue. Speaking in one voice as a board, to inform formally the mayor and the council about the overcrowding issue that we have, because the town has available land that could be rezoned for more overdevelopment.
We're not gonna go with that route. We're gonna just have it, May 20th, we'll have the work session. All right, we won't go to the Columbia thing. I will take care of speaking to the president.
Wait a second. First of all, here we go again.
What?
The Columbia dinner starts at 5:30, okay? But I'm not even talking about that. So, because obviously we're not having it the 20th because we just voted that down. So I don't know why that just came up. And just because I questioned about not having a work session, I really take offense that this is turning into this. But here's my proposal. I don't know if I'm missing something. Can we have the Matt Lee work session and the regular work session on the 23rd, and then change the regular meeting to the 30th? Would that be a possibility? The 30th is Thursday.
No, that's school board.
That's your school board tonight.
That's the monthly school board meeting / dinner.
We're being awarded.
Yeah, we're getting awarded.
We have to attend.
Ron, I would table this discussion and just proceed with having a work session as scheduled on May 23rd and move on.
I second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay. Everybody else in favor, or we need to see?
Yeah, everyone. That's done, right?
Yes.
We'll have it as originally planned.
I would request that we hold off the proposed, the proposed, resolution until the June meeting then, so that it could have the time it's needed to discuss.
I could send it out to you, and then this way we can talk about it.
I think at work sessions, any board member should be free to bring up any item in your business, and if we run out of time or the board doesn't want to discuss it, we deal with that at the moment. But to make a vote that a board member can't bring something up because we're afraid of time or we want it timed differently, just opens up a whole can of discussion that's gonna bring us down a rabbit hole, not good for us or the community. And I think we should just let it play out how it's gonna play out.
I mean, we could email the board the resolution and you can read it, and by the time we have the meeting, we discuss it.
Well, I'll email the resolution to everybody, and then you can read it, and then if there's any other things, we can discuss it. We can kind of pretty much come to a consensus by that night. It's very simple, it's not complicated. Any other questions, comments, by the board?
Yes,
Go ahead.
you know,
Go ahead.
I wanted to say, I forgot to say it during my comment earlier, like a minute ago. I do agree with Mike in terms of having the workshop meeting the same as the regular meeting, setting a bad precedent. But this is a one-time thing.
Okay, but we're done with that.
But I will just, you say your piece.
All right.
Now
let's
let
go.
me finish my sentence. That's respect.
Mr. Singh,
I'm sitting here.
More out of order, Mr. President, that matter's been concluded. It's time to move on. Sorry.
Any other comments, Elise?
I just have a question about, there's like a box in front of this school, like for clothing. Do we get, that's okay, right? Do we get, or does some organization get like money for having that box there?
Please.
That's
a place box.
Okay, because I just thought it was weird that it's where it is, because it's so close to the school, and I remember there was like county stuff about having like garbage pails, and they had to have the covers so you couldn't fit like something in it, and I just thought maybe it should be somewhere else. So I just wanted to bring that up, because I know the ones at TJ are like over by the field.
Can I say no?
Yeah, but it should be so close.
Could you state your name, please?
Mildred Shower, come visit Everland Drive, Fairlawn. We wanted to put it on that little patch of grass that's at the beginning of the visitor spots on the front of the lot, but Mr. Senko, came over and checked it out and said that would be where he would want it.
We'll look into it.
Yeah, I just wanted to know.
But my vote is for up there, that matters.
And we wanted to.
Oh, yeah, we wanted two, but he told us one was good.
Put one in my office.
Bringing it back to close.
Okay, any other comments? None? Seeing none? All right, upcoming meetings, right now we have 5/23/19, the work session, which will be Matt Lee, going over the board goals. 5/23/19 also, at 7 o'clock, we'll have our regular work session. And, we just said we were gonna go 6 to 7 with Matt, 7 to 8, and then we're gonna move the regular meeting to 8 o'clock. We just said that, did we not, or am I hearing things?
I have it
No?
voted.
As is.
We're keeping it at 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know, everything's going back and forth,
Yes, I know.
so don't shoot me. All right, anything else, anybody else got anything?
Sorry, can you clarify which are open to the public and which is at what times, because I'm
They're all
sorry.
open, the work session is open.
So the 6 to 7 is open?
That's open,
Okay,
yes.
we can show
Whatever
up
you're
at 6.
discussing, you can show up,
And
yes.
spend the night?
Yes, absolutely, you're more than welcome to come.
Can you announce the winner, sir?
Can I announce the policy meeting? Yes, the policy meeting is on May 6th at 7 o'clock.
Is that open?
Yes, it is.
This is
Have
7:30.
7:30, I mean, I apologize, 7:30. Policy meeting is at 7:30, it's open to the public, we're gonna have it as board as a whole. We are doing that for a reason, because we have a bunch of policies to review and go over. So rather than try to limit it to a couple, that's why we're doing that. everybody, I just want everybody to understand, we've gone through new committee structures and some new things. We're still working through the little nuances that are coming along with it, so, but everything's open, we're not looking to hide anything or nothing like that, so. All the meeting lists, and also I wanna state too, before we go into closed session, probably by Monday, probably, the budget will be up on the website, correct? Because I know some. Well, probably by tomorrow, okay, I'm just, it's Thursday to Friday, I'm just saying, but I've had a few emails from some residents, and I said that as soon as we vote on it, that'll be up on the website, so it's up on the website if anybody wants to go through it. Okay? I need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we take a 5-minute recess.